Is Ferrari finally waking up? Or is it just another illusion in a season already full of almosts? The Austrian Grand Prix sparked a small flame in Maranello, and this time, the name that captured the spotlight wasn't Charles Leclerc. It was Lewis Hamilton. Yes, him. The man who spent years battling the Scuderia is now their biggest hope. But be careful. Behind the smiles and optimistic statements lies an atmosphere much more tense than it seems. After finishing the weekend in fourth place, less than 10 seconds off the podium, Hamilton left Spielberg with mixed feelings. On one hand, there's satisfaction with the small improvements. On the other, growing frustration with a package that still doesn't fully convince him. The team radio that wasn't broadcast on TV said more than his smile in front of the cameras. Lewis isn't satisfied, and he made that clear to his engineer. There's a lack of pace, a lack of consistency, a lack of that feeling that the car can be trusted when pushed to the limit. Jerome D'Ambrosio, who temporarily replaced Fred Vasseur on Ferrari's pit wall, confirmed that the new floor brought to Austria worked. But saying something worked in Formula One can mean everything or nothing. Yes, the wind tunnel data was confirmed on track, but Hamilton is still complaining about one annoying issue: high-speed understeer. And that's not the kind of flaw you fix with a simple aerodynamic tweak. So, the real question is, how much time does Ferrari have to fix all of this? Because Hamilton is 40 years old. He didn't come to Maranello to collect points. He came to make history. And with the 2026 regulations looming, every second lost today is a massive risk tomorrow. Many have called the Austrian Grand Prix Ferrari's best weekend of the year. But be cautious, it's also a reflection of a situation where Hamilton has lifted the team above Mercedes, while Leclerc still lags behind. The gap between the two Ferrari drivers in the standings is 28 points, and Hamilton is steadily closing in. This is not a detail, it's a sign. But not everyone is convinced by how Ferrari is being run internally. Jacques Villeneuve, never one to hold back, called the team's strategy strange and criticized the communication with the drivers as inadequate. And it's not hard to understand what he meant. At one point, Hamilton requested to delay his second pit stop, possibly hoping for a one-stop strategy to leapfrog Leclerc. But his engineer, Riccardo Adami, shut it down with a flat box, leaving no room for discussion. End of story. Still, after the checkered flag, Lewis thanked the team over the radio. But his words felt more diplomatic than sincere. "Great job. I'm proud of you guys. I couldn't keep the pace. We need to figure out why." Translation: thank you, but something's not right. And he knows it. The braking system is another sore point. Hamilton stated that he lost a 10th in qualifying due to a brake issue on his final run. A 10th that would have put him ahead of Leclerc. And during the race, managing the brakes again became a limiting factor. This isn't just a technical detail, it's a structural obstacle. So, what does all of this mean? That Hamilton is adapting, but he's far from comfortable. Ferrari has given him a few answers, but too many questions remain. And if this team truly wants to build something around him, they'll have to start listening more than they have so far. The internal tension with Leclerc hasn't exploded publicly, yet. But the signs are there. Their silent battle plays out in tiny margins. 10ths in qualifying, fastest laps in the race, strategies not shared. In Austria, Lewis finished less than 3 seconds behind the Monegasque. And had there been a safety car, the podium would have likely been his. He knows it. Leclerc knows it. The team knows it too. That's why every weekend matters. That's why every update is crucial. Hamilton said, "It was a bigger step forward than expected. Being the second fastest team and not far from McLaren is a positive. But we have to keep pushing." A clear message, a warning. Because patience has limits. And Hamilton didn't come to build, he came to win. The atmosphere in Maranello feels like a fragile balance. On one side, a team that's finally seeing glimmers of progress. On the other, a 7-time world champion who knows exactly when a project has weak foundations. And if Lewis Hamilton publicly praised the team after the Austrian GP, it's only because he knows it's not yet time to break the harmony. But let's be clear, harmony is not the same as blind trust. And Hamilton has already learned the hard way that in Formula One, trust must be earned, race by race, decision by decision. Ferrari is now in a delicate phase. Yes, they've overtaken Mercedes in the Constructors' Championship, But they did it more through consistency than through real technical superiority. While McLaren is soaring, Red Bull is showing cracks, and Aston Martin is disappearing, Ferrari seems stuck in the middle. Not strong enough to win, not weak enough to surrender. Caught in this limbo, Hamilton has to decide whether to keep trusting or start applying pressure. And that pressure is already being felt, starting with strategy. In Austria, Lewis tried to stay out longer before his second pit stop. It wasn't stubbornness, it was a smart reading of the race, a calculated attempt to take advantage of a possible safety car and jump ahead of Leclerc. But the team didn't want to listen. They called him in. They insisted. And he obeyed. For now. But how long will this "for now" last? Because Hamilton is no number 2. He's never been used to running behind. At the start of the season, he could accept a transition period, but now the window is narrowing. The numbers speak for themselves. Lewis is closing the gap to Charles in the standings, and the track always has the final word. Ferrari will soon have to decide whether to treat them as equals or choose a leader. And if the decision doesn't come naturally, it will be forced from within. Another clear sign was the tone in which he spoke about the car's balance. "I'm struggling to manage this setup. I'm losing too much ground. There's understeer at high speed. I have to fight to keep pace." These aren't random complaints. They're signs of growing frustration. And even though Lewis tries to mask it, the tension is building. But the biggest concern for Ferrari is just one: the lack of quick progress. Did the new floor work? Yes, but not enough. Brake issues persist. The car's balance still doesn't inspire confidence, and if the team doesn't find answers soon, they risk losing the one man who's keeping them alive in the media, in sporting terms and politically. Hamilton. Yes, politically, because Lewis didn't come just as a driver. His arrival was a message, an investment, a statement to the entire racing world: we're coming back. But a message isn't enough. Results are needed, and fast. Meanwhile, Leclerc's silence speaks just as loudly. The Monegasque has never publicly criticized the team, but his expression after the Austrian GP said it all. He knew Hamilton was closer than ever, and if Lewis keeps chipping away tenths in the race and thousandths in qualifying, a change in the team's leadership dynamic is no longer a fantasy. It's a real possibility. Off track, more and more rumors are circulating about potential leadership changes. Fred Vasseur's future is not guaranteed, and the presence of Jerome D'Ambrosio on the pit wall was seen by many as a dress rehearsal. Hamilton knows him from his Mercedes days. He knows how he works. He knows what to expect. And this too could become leverage. Because if Vasseur's internal support starts to fade, Lewis could become the most influential voice inside Ferrari. 2026 is getting closer, and with it, the most radical regulation change in years. Hamilton has stated that Ferrari has already identified a key issue they believe they can solve before then. But time is flying, and patience isn't endless. If the project doesn't start taking real shape in 2025, Hamilton's red adventure could turn into a missed opportunity. What's certain is that Lewis won't stay silent. He's proven that many times. And if he has to raise his voice to be heard, he will, with class, but with strength. Thank you for watching this in-depth analysis. If you enjoyed this video, leave a comment below and let us know. Do you think Ferrari can truly build a winning car for Hamilton before 2026? And who should be the team leader, Leclerc or Lewis? Don't forget to subscribe to the channel so you never miss an update, and click on the video on your screen now for more exclusive insights from the world of Formula One. See you next time.